Tomorrow is Constitution Day, September 17th, because it was 224 years ago that the Constitution was adopted in Philadelphia. As you remember, you probably learned, after the Revolutionary War, the 13 original colonies in effect became 13 independent states. And there was very little coordination between the states. There was no national government. It was not a very workable situation. So the states sent delegates to Philadelphia to come up with a better union. Now, can anybody name the delegates that Rhode Island sent to the Constitutional Convention? Well, yes.
Rhode Island didn't send any.
Absolutely correct. It's kind of a trick question because Rhode Island didn't send any delegates to the Constitutional Convention. We were the first colony to declare our independence from England. We did that on May 4th, 2 months before the Declaration of Independence. And yet we did not send any delegates to the Philadelphia for the Constitutional Convention.
Yeah.
And I think that was in large part because the colonial charter under which we operated gave to the citizens of Rhode Island a great deal of freedom and liberty and autonomy, freedom of conscience, more so than most of the other colonies. And I think we were probably not only happy with the government we had at the time, but very distrustful of a central federal type. And all the rest of the governmental powers remained with the states. So they set up this structure of a federal government and the 13 state governments, and it was a very unique and very creative, and it's been the longest lasting constitution, I believe, in the world. Many other countries have since formed their own constitutions, but ours is the first and the longest that has been in effect. Now, there are also amendments to the Constitution. Now, do you know what the first 10 amendments are called? Yes? Bill of Rights, that's correct. They have the Bill of Rights, and they set forth the liberties to which we are all entitled. Now, what they also did in setting up the government is they divided the government essentially into 3 branches. Anybody can name the branches?
Legislative, executive, and
Absolutely correct. Those are the 3 branches. Now, I'm in the judicial branch. Judge Lipsy, who is here today, is in the judicial branch. And the judicial branch essentially are the courts. They're the courts. There's a federal court system and a state court system. Anybody know who what court is the highest court in the land? Yes.
The country's court, the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court. Supreme Court of the United States. That's the highest. They have the final say on what the Constitution means. Now, one of the former justices of the Supreme Court, Sandra Day O'Connor, she is retired, but she has not remained idle. She has been working very hard, and she really is the driving force behind the iCivics program. An iCivics program is a kind of a fun and exciting way to learn about not only the Constitution and the different branches of government, but also to learn about the rights to which we are all entitled, and also to the responsibilities that we all have as citizens. Now, do you know some of the rights under the Bill of Rights? Have you gotten into that at all? Yeah? The right to bear arms, that's in the Constitution. The First Amendment, yep.
freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, yep. Yep, in the back.
Trial by jury.
Trial by jury.
No cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah, those are all rights in the Bill of Rights. And that's what we do in our courts today, that we have to make sure that the people are entitled to those rights, that they're receiving those rights, and that the government is not violating those rights against individuals. And that's a lot of what we do in the courts. I don't want to take too much time because I know we want to get into the game itself.
Sure.
Can anybody give me some of the responsibilities that you think that we have as citizens? Absolutely. And I think that's kind of the fundamental right that all of us, responsibility that all of us have, is we should vote.
much years like I'm 13.
Well, you're going to be 18, you're right, but when you're 18, you should vote. Otherwise, you really shouldn't complain about government, because if you're not going to do anything and to change it and to vote for people you think represent the views that you have, and I hope not only that you vote, but I hope some of you actually run for office someday and serve in the legislature or serve in government in some capacity.
We have a few actually. They're all looking back at Ayanna, who wants to be the first female president of the country. Ben would like to be a justice. Ben, raise your hand.
Well,
So we have
great.
a few.
That's great, and I hope all of you get involved. Another important responsibility, if you want to take...
Pay taxes.
Pay taxes, yeah, we all have to pay taxes, you're right. And what do we do in trials? Do you know what a trial, when you go into court and somebody is been accused of committing a crime? Yes?
Jury duty.
Jury duty. That's another important responsibility that everybody has an obligation to participate, because that ensures that we have fair trials and that people are judged by their peers.
Member of the family court, which is a very interesting thing, and many of you may have had some knowledge of the family court proceedings. But I want to tell you something more interesting as far as me. I wasn't born in 1776. You know that, Dave, but not too far from that. But I was born in Providence. I was raised in all the public schools in Providence. And I lived right behind Nathaniel Green Middle School. Anyone know where Nathaniel Green Middle School is? They used to call it a junior high school when I went there. And I went all through
Police
Nathaniel.
officer came knocking on your door and said, "We want to search this house because teenagers live here." Is that okay?
No.
No, of course not. Why not?
Because they have to have a warrant.
A warrant, right? They need probable cause, and they need a warrant. And what amendment tells you that?
Well, you know this. Search and seizure. Which one is it? Close.
There you go. Nice job. Well done. So, if anybody has played the games already, is there anything specific that you feel you get stuck on, or you want to come back and give me some feedback about and say, I wish this was different. I wish I had a chance to follow it this way. Those are the kinds of things. Feel free to let us know too. Okay, are you trying to play? Okay, because you can turn the volume down, right? Okay, that's good.
What does it say?
Okay, I'll try. Hey there, my name is Jody. I was born in Washington, D.C. I don't need a passport, right? There you go. That says perfect match. Just about anyone born in the United States is automatically a citizen, and Washington, D.C. is not only district, it's the capital, right? I think you guys in the United States make the best rap music on the planet. Will you let me in so I can hang out with your awesome rappers?
Get out of here.
Oh!
We have to go back, we have to decide it, and then write an opinion.
You want a question?
It can take a while to write the opinion.
Justice Suttell about Generation Citizen. It's another program I do.